Guys, you're not going to believe this, but Bitcoin is trading at prices we haven't seen in like days or even weeks. It's below 60K.
Oh no! We suck again.
We suck again. It's over, guys. It's over. It's over. We're below 60K. Pack it in. We're probably going to like 5,000. Obviously, that's not the case, but we're here to talk about whether we should buy this dip or whether the dippening will potentially dip further. I'm going to take a look at that. The SHIB chart, of course, and 1 inch. Now looking like a big 1.75 inch. You guys don't want to miss this one today. Let's go.
Let's go.
What is up, everybody? I am Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of all streets. Before we get started, subscribe to the channel and put your head over your keyboard. And now that we're below 60K, I know you're crying. So let the tears gently drip down on that like button. Your tears of pain and angst because Bitcoin is down below 60,000, because it was never a dream that Bitcoin would get above 60,000 in the first place, right? But yeah, man, SHIB doesn't care. SHIB doesn't care at all. 1 inch finally got sick of us making fun of it and did an absolutely Giga Chad candle. We're going to take a look at that. There's also a lot of news. But first, I want to dig into what's happening with Bitcoin and see if we can find anything on the chart that tells us what might happen. I think you guys know what I'm going to say. We've got a nice dip. As an investor, you always buy it. But what about as a trader? Or as Snoop would say, a trader. Bitcoin plunges below 60K. Plunges. It was at like 60,300 for like 2 days. And the minute it goes down below 60K, we have a headline, right? As if 60K is a meaningful level. Shiba Inu with another 20% day surge. We'll talk about that a little later. But here you go. Bitcoin dumps below 60K. After last week's all-time high at 67, Bitcoin started to retrace gradually and dipped below 60K several times in the following days, right? We've been here before. Following the weekend's drop, though, the situation changed and Bitcoin climbed to and above 63. We know what happened. Went up, went down, and now we are trading down below 60,000. A lot of speculation that this is because of the Bitcoin futures ETF, of course. We saw Coinbase listing as the top. We saw CME futures in 2017 as the top. And now we have Bitcoin futures ETF and people saying it's the top. I actually had a long chat with Mark Yusko yesterday for the podcast, my third interview with him, probably my favorite person to interview. Absolutely incredible. And he's actually of that mind. He's Pomp and Jason Williams, Going Parabolic's partner. The two of them think that we have not seen the top. He actually thinks, Mark Yusko thinks that the top is in for now, because he thinks the only reason that they approved a futures ETF was so that dickheads on Wall Street could short it, to basically control the asset. So that is something to keep in mind. He does not think that we've topped permanently. He thinks Bitcoin is going to $1 million. He just thinks for now this could be the downward pressure that keeps us here for a little while. Not saying it's a long-term thing, but let's see why price dropped $1,000 in 5 minutes today when it dropped below 60,000. Well, of course, liquidations. We know exactly what happens. It happens every single time. So for now, you can't really dig into it and believe that it's much more than this, right? Can't believe it's much more than this, because this happens every time. We saw longs piling up, right? We went up to 67,000. Actually, leverage wasn't too high in the system. It dropped. So people started saying, well, we made a new all-time high. I don't blame them. You know, this going back up, I'm buying the dip, but they were buying it with 100x leverage, right? So we saw almost $1 billion liquidated in a matter of minutes. You can see which exchanges they were liquidated from. Listen, when we went from 60K to 50K last time, there was so much leverage in the system that we saw like 10 billion liquidated. But $1 billion in a matter of minutes, hours is a really big deal. And for now, that's probably what's happened here. And there's really not many longs piled up again at this point for more fuel for another push down. So worth keeping that in mind. Let's take a look at the chart. First, we have the weekly chart. Last week, we had that shooting star. Yesterday, the weekly was looking good. Today, it's looking bad. We know it's only Wednesday and you can't judge the weekly candle yet. But, you know, we did have this support here at 59,985. We'd like to see held. In theory, that was the highest weekly close ever. Although we know the all-time high is really the key level. I have been talking to you guys about this level over and over again. I'm not saying we're going to get it, but we should. In theory, technically, Key resistances should be tested as support, which is a bullish thing. And also the moment that people liquidate in their shorts, as opposed to liquidating their shorts, they liquidate in their shorts with panic and fear, right? They absolutely freak out. They think that we're going down to 10,000. That's usually the time when you want to buy. And it's almost always at support, right? Almost always at support. Well, we had this structure here, right? Of course, this descending line, and we had lower highs, lower lows going down. Well, that line at 52,944.96 on Coinbase is where we made a higher high and broke that structure. That should be tested as support. Not saying it will be, but it should. And there are a lot of things on a lot of time frames that would indicate that we could see that level. Yeah, I know. A lot of you don't want to hear that. And that's when people are going to start shorting and freaking out if we actually get down there, but it would be very bullish. Much like 42K, right? Never got the retest here, just like this, right? Look at the candle that broke 42K. Next candle came down a few hundred above. This one broke 53K. Next candle, a few hundred above, right? And it took a few weeks to get back down there, but it did eventually retest and continue up. That's kind of what I'm looking for there. On the daily, you can see we're potentially breaking 59,603 support. A close above that would be pretty bullish, actually, right? Would be a really good sign, but that is a key swing high right here. So if we lose that, again, we start looking at that same level. What else is here? The 50 MA on the daily. 50 MA on the daily, and this is a huge mean reversion trade, right? You eventually get really far from it, and then you always come back to it. Price always eventually makes its way back. The question is, how high has it risen before it comes back? Well, if we go a few more days and the 50 MA rises up to 53, 54K, that area, of course, that would make another confluence of support in that area. Not saying that will definitely happen. This could come all the way up here before it eventually tests it. But people love trading moving averages because it's a mean reversion trade. Eventually, you come back to test those shorter moving averages just like that.
That's dope.
That's dope. That's right. I saw someone said that's dope. That's dope. I don't know if you're talking to me, but yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's another reason to look at it that way. And what else do we have? The Bollinger Bands. Like I said, just the other day, we had them going up, but right here, we saw them flattening out and turning down. That usually means you're done with that move. Kind of like here, right? We had a bull run up, flattened out, visited the bottom, and continued up. So maybe we visit the bottom, which is at $53,000. $53,000. Right? So we're testing the center line. This could hold and we could just go straight up from here. I do like this area as an area of support, actually. I do like this area. Just think it statistically looks likely that it should come down and test these lower, right? Come down, test the band, head up, just like we came down right here and headed up. Not the first time. We did it right here too. Went up, tested the bottom, went up. Also here now, of course, listen, I talked about this as a meme on Monday. I said I wanted to be the first person to mention the Head and Shoulders. I wanted to be the first person to mention the Head and Shoulders. Congratulations to me. I think I was the first person. Well, now we actually have a confirmed breakdown.
Bye, Felicia.
Right. So Bitcoin broke down on volume. So now this pattern is not potential Head and Shoulders. It's an actual and for real. For really real Head and Shoulders, right? So what does that mean? We have the left shoulder here, spike of volume. We have the head, spike of volume. And you need volume to confirm a Head and Shoulders. On the breakdown, spike in volume. That's confirmed. So if you're trading this, by the way, these rarely hit their targets and they often fail. But if you're trading this, you're looking for a retest of that and a move down to where? Well, in this one, it's about 52,000. We have the 200 MA right here. And like I said, they rarely hit their targets. So if they get to 70, 80% of their target, which is usually what happens, where will that be? Right around there, 53K. Right round there near 53K. Right? I would like to see 3 consecutive settles under that neckline to confirm. Yeah, see a few candles close under there. And yeah. And then we'll see what happens. Yeah, you called it Scott Darn. Well, I didn't call it. Listen, I said that you would hear people calling it, but that it was nonsense to talk about it until it actually happened. But that you should be looking for it because it was potentially there. And once we lost that 50 MA on the 4-hour, it looked very likely. But there you have a major spike in volume on that breakdown. That is a absolutely 100% and for really confirmed Head and Shoulders pattern. So look out below if it retests and comes back down. Now, taking a look at RSI on the line chart. Well, you know that I love to draw patterns on the line chart as well as on the RSI. If we see that break up, that would be my signal that we're likely to go. But as you can see here, listen, we had gotten overbought on the 4-hour one, all these candles, again here, again here, again here, without going to oversold. RSI will always make the trip from overbought to oversold. It's just a matter of how long it takes. Well, we're pretty damn close now, right? RSI just got to 31.93. 30 is oversold. So you know what I'll be looking for. I mean, this is not a mystery, right? I'm going to look for us to come down into here and then do that. And I'm going to look for this to come down a little lower and then come down a little lower with that. And then we're going to do a bullish divergence. And that will be the signal. That could happen, of course, right at 53K, right? But listen, the 4 hours almost oversold. Hourly already went oversold. Did not make a bullish divergence. We could look for it on the hourly. 6 hour, very close to oversold, got down to 35. And then the higher time frames, that's where you start to have a little concern. You can ignore these lines. They're drawn on a different time frame. Daily, though, is still right here above 50. So it has not made the trip to oversold, but that could take years. But this is what I'm going to be looking for on the 4-hour chart. You know me, you know how I roll. Once this hits oversold, then I will start personally be interested in buying the dip. I don't see anything wrong with buying the dip here long term. I think we're going to hundreds of thousands of dollars. But if you're trying to trade this and you're looking for a really ideal entry, maybe start to scale in. But, you know, we do have signals that this could go lower. That's all I am saying right here. Shiba Inu surges to record as Robinhood petition passes 300,000. Dogecoin inspired token has climbed 13% past 24 hours. Robinhood's 10F says carefully considering adding coins. Well, we know that retail wants SHIB, right? They went crazy, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on Doge, and they've abandoned Doge, by the way, for SHIB. And so what I've been discounting, listen, I don't think SHIB is a serious asset. As I've said over and over again, you can't call it an investment. Have fun trading it, though. Amazing for trading, huge gains to be made. Just don't be the guy that's holding it when the bubble pops, talking about how it's the future of money. Just don't be that guy, right? But in this case, listen, SHIB is another mainstream asset that your normie people have heard of now, and they're getting excited about and FOMOing into. So I have no idea. I'm not going to try to call the top, but it clearly wants to keep going, right? Taking a look at the SHIB chart right here. Oh, and that was a petition from 300,000 people on change.org to get SHIB listed on Robinhood, right? That's what we're saying. So listen, man, SHIB is super sweet. This is a trader's dream. This is a trader's wet dream. Like your trader goes to bed at night. And like, in like the 1980s when I was a kid, or like, early 90s, it was like, oh, you thought about like Elle Macpherson or Kathy Ireland, or like even Christy Brinkley and, her later days when you were sleeping and you had, wet dream. Well, this is what traders wet dream about. Like, oh, God, SHIB, give me the gains, right? That's what's happening. That's what's happening. And listen, you cannot find a way to call the top on this. That, listen, I haven't even looked, but you got to assume that we're wildly overbought. Yeah, wildly overbought here. This is the 4-hour with a potentially huge bearish divergence. Don't know if it matters. Daily, daily on this push got to 94. Would be pretty crazy for this next push to get that high. So you have a sort of an inevitable bearish div. If that goes higher, I'll be really impressed. I'm not trying to call the top. I'm just also not trying to buy this, right? Maybe you give it a time to consolidate. Maybe you get a drop. Look at it there. Yeah. Just reading your comments over here. Time to short SHIB. I wouldn't say so. I don't know, man. I don't want to jump in there. Emmy said this is weird. Sorry. It was the 80s. I was like, I was 12. It's like 12. It's like 12. Like when I was a kid, people didn't have access to the internet and like all this. You had two things. You had like your neighbor's Playboy magazines that may or may not be hidden right under the Docker's pants in his dad's closet in a stack, also under some sweatpants. That could be where they were hidden. Or you had the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Those were the things that young boys fantasized about. It is what it is. It is what it is, guys. 1 inch. We love it. 1 inch surges over 100% to new all-time high. 1 inch's government token briefly surged over 100% this morning to reach a new all-time high of 865. Listen, we make fun of 1 inch all the time. We mock it. We make fun of it. But we liked the chart, right? We like the chart. So we had the range. I showed you the range breakout. I took that off, but I've been sharing this. You guys ask about it every single time. You guys ask about it. Weird. Yeah. Nick Wright says that was a weird segue. Welcome to the program, Nick. It's nice to have you. Nice to have you. Right. 1 inch had this beautiful inverse head and shoulders, the breakout right here. We had this retest of the neckline. I didn't expect it to hit we did not expect it to hit the target in one single candle. I mean, that might have happened in 4 hours. It did. Basically, in a 4-hour candle, it got right to the target of that inverse head and shoulders. Monster move, and almost got to an all-time high of 7,875. Of course, it's retraced now, but that's normal. Look at the volume. Look at the volume. Clearly, this coin is a a grower, not a shower. It's a grower, not a shower. And listen, we laughed at it enough. It went online. It ordered the pump. It got, it ordered some pills. It really took its growth. It's been working out. And 1 inch now doubled up 2 inch. And we're going to see how high it can go above that. We're going to see how high it can go above that. But right now, I would say, actually, I think it went from 1 inch to 2 inch, and then, he's retracting a bit. So we're at like 1.7 inch. 1.7 inch, I would say right now. Looking at your comments over here, because they've got to be. Look at Manuel, JCPenney laundry pages. People don't understand what it was like to be a child in the 80s or 90s. Cinemax every once in a while, if you could like stay up till like 3 a.m, you'd get like a boob or something. It's just not what it was. It's just now easy access for these kids. And I think that's a bad thing. Anyways, let's keep moving on with the news. Brazil ride-hailing giant 99 to enable Bitcoin trading. The company will offer users of its digital wallet 99 pay commission-free buying and selling of large cryptocurrency by market capitalization. Y'all don't know how huge this is. This is huge because this is not like a crypto company, right? This is a ride. This is like if you opened Uber in the United States, you're like, call a car, buy Bitcoin. Call a car, buy Bitcoin. That's what these people are going to be able to do. Of course, there's actually a Chinese company. They were bought by Didi a few years ago, but they have their own wallet that people use for payments within the app. And now you'll be able to buy and sell Bitcoin commission free and other cryptocurrencies. You will not be able to pay without converting your Bitcoin into reals to do it. But this is absolutely massive. Imagine if you had Uber and competitors in the United States and all around the world allowing you, because they have mobile wallets, to buy and sell Bitcoin. Huge. Dish partners. Oh man, I've already signed into Bloomberg. Y'all are tripping. Trying to give me that you ain't signed in thing. Oh, yeah, Skinamax, Matthew says. Skinamax. That's right. We had Skinamax. That wasn't the only one. Yeah, the adult channel with the whole screen scrambled. Yeah, it was like blurry, but you could like hear. That was cool. Dish partners with crypto shop Helium to help expand 5G network. That's pretty massive here. You guys probably know about Helium. You set up your router or your station. My friend loves this here where I live. He's like buys houses literally just to set these up. You put it on top of your roof, put it somewhere in your house with a good signal. It creates a network. Boom, decentralized network. And so Dish Network is actually partnering with them. They're going to try to encourage people. Like if you got the Dish, you might as well get one of these little Helium thingies, put it up on your roof, and create a hotspot. And you get rewards in Helium token for doing it. Free money for doing it. And let's see what I think this is huge. And oh yeah, Helium was co-founded by Napster creator Sean Fanning, if you guys don't know that. So yeah, this is a big partnership for them because they were doing well already on their own, setting up this network, and now they have Dish Network as a part of them. For those of you who don't know, Dish Network is the shittier version of DirecTV, which is a shittier version of just having cable. Anyways, this is what the token has done. And this is a setup that I had shared in the newsletter anyways, right? And I said, we want to get technically above 2287 and look for a retest. Well, listen, we got the break of the blue line, a lot of retests here, then the break above 2287. And now we got the retest on the dip today. Your target of this pattern is about $39. Next resistance and target is 2637. Break, retest of both of these lines, looking very good. Looking very good. Looking very good. Francis says Napster was my shit back in the day. Dude, Napster was basically like the invention. I mean, you have BitTorrent and stuff, but like that's decentralization, like all the things we love about cryptocurrency. Napster somewhat started that in my mind. Started that in my mind. Let's take a look at the next piece of news. My God, Sam, don't stop. Stop, Sam, don't stop. Crypto exchange FTX buys Super Bowl ad, deepening sports push.
Damn!
No bigger event to share message, says Sam Bankman-Fried, who made the money to pay for the Super Bowl commercial in the time that I've been talking about, that just on interest on his billions. But this purchase obviously comes after the previous ad campaign with Tom Brady. They just added Big Papi David Ortiz. He has an FTX commercial now too. But the Super Bowl ad is like $6 million for 30 cents or something. But we're going to see FTX and crypto advertise during the Super Bowl, guys. Advertise during the Super Bowl. Absolutely incredible. Amazing. Yeah. LimeWire, man. Just get that free music, all that free music. So moving on, Coinlist is now valued at 1.5 billion, another unicorn in the cryptocurrency space, the fresh 100 million in funding. I'm old enough to remember when like getting funded $100 million was a lot. Now it's just like a drop in the bucket for the like Andreessen Horowitz and friends. They just be dropping money on literally everything they can find. Listen, Coinlist obviously is a launch platform and an exchange is where a lot of ICOs, IDOs, whatever you want to call them, are happening. But it's the story here is not like the value of Coinlist. It's that every week another project in crypto raises a few $100 million and is worth billions. VCs are literally like fighting each other for the right to make it rain like Lil Wayne. We got DJ Khaled out in here and like, oh, you got some cryptos? Just can't take my money. VCs with crypto right now are like rappers at King of Diamonds. Like, it doesn't even matter what that stripper looks like. Doesn't even matter. They're just taking all of it and making it rain. Just throwing it in there. They're taking like suitcases full and they're just emptying it off the balcony. Right? They just cannot stop throwing money. Right. Oh, Justin, my man Justin here says if you had 100 million, he'd invest in Scott's next mashup. I would do that for less than 100 million. We'll talk. But yeah, dude, VCs are making it rain right now. Robinhood shares falls, crypto trading revenue declines sharply. No shit, Sherlock. Popular trading platform said reduced crypto trading activity led to significantly fewer new funded accounts and lower revenue in the third quarter. First of all, they said, listen, trading seasonal. We did all this volume in the last quarter and the second quarter because of crypto going absolutely bananas, bull run, but mostly, I told you about this and I warned you, mostly because of Doge, right? Well, Doge has lost its luster now. Nobody cares about Doge because that's what happens to memes. They run through their cycle. And as a result of nobody trading Doge anymore on Robinhood to any great degree, this is what happened. In the second quarter, on cryptocurrency, they made $233 million. In the third quarter, they made 51, a 78% drop in revenue on cryptocurrency from the second to third quarter, right? We all know the summer was lame. Nobody was doing anything in the crypto space. We were all suffering. So listen, we know that we're going to see a huge fourth quarter for them. Right? We're going to end up seeing a huge fourth quarter and it'll pump again. So maybe actually this is a good time to buy Robinhood if you're a supporter of the stock. I actually opened the chart. I've never looked at it. Look at that gap. This is the news right here. That gap should fill eventually. So listen, if you want to maybe try to buy it here, 33, ride it up to 39, make that quick 20%. Sure. But listen, I think, Robinhood probably right now is going to do what Coinbase did, right? Hyped listing, dribble down, eventually range down here, and then we'll see a great quarter and it'll probably break up. I might actually start buying Robinhood stock here now that I'm looking at it and seeing how it opened. It's a big gap down, over a 10% drop. And most of that is just because of Doge and cryptocurrency. And we know that cryptocurrency is going to get hot once again. Yeah. Real talk. Scott, ever think about doing another conference in Vegas like a couple of years ago? I'm actually going to be speaking in some regard, but I think it's about like financial literacy and social media next week at a conference in Tampa. I don't know who else is on the panel. I know Wendy O, I think, is on the panel. She's awesome. That's next Friday in Tampa, Florida. They just asked me to do that yesterday. And so I think I'm going to probably do that. But in Vegas, I gave a keynote about getting wrecked trading. It was actually a really funny speech. For those of you who missed it, it was not recorded. I did it for Charlie Shrem. It was at the World CryptoCon in Vegas. I got up on stage in front of all these people and streaming and stuff to give like knowledge on crypto and trading. And I basically went up there and told everybody how dumb they are and that they shouldn't trade and all the reasons why. Not exactly what a room full of traders wanted to hear, but they got their absolute taste. Yeah. Harry interview scared the crap out of me, adding trailing stops to all my equities. Yeah. If you missed it yesterday, that was my interview with Harry Dent, who's also in Tampa, coincidentally. Guys, listen, but that guy, I'm not saying he's wrong about a crash. His premise is right, but he's been saying next month, every month for a very long time. Very long time. That is an interview definitely worth listening to. Let's keep going on to ETF news. ETF issuer direction files for short Bitcoin futures product. ETF issuers are getting creative after last week's watershed Bitcoin ETF launch. So now we have people trying to launch ETFs based solely on the idea of shorting Bitcoin.
Oh no, we suck again.
No, but actually, this is not that uncommon. This is a very normal thing. They have these for gold, every other commodity. When you start to see ETFs in one direction, you get ones that basically gain short exposure, and that's what they would do. They would hold short contracts and you'd be able to invest in that. But on the flip side, Valkyrie, who once again I'm invested in, as I always tell you guys, have filed an application for a leveraged Bitcoin futures ETF at 1.25. So listen, a lot of people's criticism of the futures ETF is that it bleeds, right? You have fees, it bleeds, you don't directly track the price. Well, what do you do if you're losing 25%? You lever it up to 1.25. And then you basically will end up getting the same benefits as you would from buying direct Bitcoin. It's a really good idea. I don't know if it'll get approved. I would absolutely love to see it. But this is a brilliant approach to solving some of the problems that people are having with the ETF. This shit's awesome. New Adobe Photoshop feature to support NFT verification on marketplaces. Adobe will roll out a prepare as NFT option in preview by the end of the month. You listening to this, Emmy? Every time you open Photoshop and you send something off to a client, just make that shit an NFT. Make that shit an NFT. A new feature on Adobe Photoshop will allow artists to prove they are the creators of artwork on NFT marketplaces, right? Super cool. Content credentials, as the feature is called, can capture identity data as an image, is edited on the software, and stored it as metadata. The feature is optional, and the company has launched a website where the credential metadata of images can be verified. Super sweet. Right? Because we all love NFTs because they give you verification of ownership and scarcity. Well, now you can verify who made that NFT, and people who try to steal them or copy them can eat one. They can eat one. Super cool that they're doing this. What's the plant doing in that picture? Says John Doe. I don't know. Being a plant, dude. Like, what are you seeing? You high? You on acid? Is the plant dancing? Is there a purple elephant with the plant? I don't know. It's a plant. It's being a plant. Being a plant. Yeah. I don't know why Brian's saying this. We got to stay fly till I die, but that is one of the greatest rap songs of all time. I got to stay fly till I die. Speaking of dying, we all know that Steam has basically said no Web3 crypto games because they hate money and want to go poor before other platforms. And they would rather be Blockbuster than Netflix. But 29 blockchain gaming companies penned an open letter to Valve. Don't ban Web3 games. Basically, everyone came together, Engine, Future, Blockchain Game Alliance, and they wrote a letter like, bro, fuck is wrong with you? Grow up and stop banning stuff. Can we live? Can we play our games? But really, though, first of all, can you imagine like getting together with 29 friends and trying to edit a letter that you all agree on? Seems like a bad idea, but it is nice to see that they're fighting back and they want to see this. And I imagine Steam is going to come back around and they're going to make this happen for the users because the people tend to get what the people want. You don't see it, Scott? No, man. I'm going to stare at this plant. I don't know. Kind of looks like the blue thing that's in the computer is coming out of the plant on some like eye of an alien thing, but no, I don't really see it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really see it there. I don't really see it there. Yeah, China banned, Steam's banned. Yeah, when you get banned, you got to go to China and get double banned. This is what happened to lawn darts, Justin. You're right. We threw lawn darts as kids. We threw lawn darts at camp. I went to camp. It was called Camp Crystal, not Friday the 13th, but it was called Camp Crystal in Stark, Florida, backwoods. It was owned by the Alachua County school system. And when I was a kid, they were old army barracks. So like you could literally climb through the like termite infested walls to the next bunk. This place was so disgusting. Outdoor showers around the corner. You had to walk in the dirt. But when I was a kid at camp, talk about unsafe stuff. We played lawn darts, first of all. If you guys don't know lawn darts, it's a dart like this big and you throw it as high as you can in the air. And then you just basically, I guess, try to get out of the way. But we also had riflery and archery as like, you know, classes. Go like do pottery and some other hippie shit that we did at hippie camp. And then it'd be like, go shoot guns. I was like 8. And we were shooting arrows and throwing lawn darts and shooting guns. That's what was happening. Is that a pun, Evan, that is rooting for you? Because that's funny. Yeah, with real arrows. Archery. We did archery. Bow and arrow. Target over there. Everybody stand behind the line. Then you got ADD Scott over here looking at a butterfly in the middle of the range. Oh, it's cool. Look, there's a squirrel. Arrow in the face. Yeah, we used to shoot guns and arrows and lawn darts literally at camp. Yeah. And here's Emmy, who, so like you think that shit is like country or whatever. Emmy, even though she's a few years younger than me, she grew up real country. Like she used to do things like they'd take their BB guns outside and basically play tag with them, just shoot each other with a BB gun. Oh, you're out. You know, we do like paint guns. Those paint guns explode. Ever taken a BB to the face? Because I've played this game. Emmy also used to play tag on 4-wheelers, which is really safe when you're like 8. Get on a big full-size 4-wheeler, and the idea is to go run into somebody to show them that you caught them. Right? Really smart. We did smart stuff. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. That's right, with the BB gun. Yeah, Florida's gonna Florida. That's what we do. I know, guys, that we're rambling here. Yeah, I like this. China bands would make her dance. I always make this joke with B bands and make her dance. Bands, it's bands, but China bands will also apparently make her dance. We didn't wear goggles. Yeah, look, I guess, Emmy, we even put 4 jackets on and shot rubber bullets at each other only once. This is shit that we did. And now like if you let your kid play in the street by themselves and you're like not right out there, someone can literally call the cops and like have your kids removed from you. When I was a kid, we played with sticks and we used them as swords and we hit each other as hard as we could with the sticks until someone was bleeding and had splinters, and then you capitulated and you lost. That's how it worked. Tyson would like to say Gator basketball is garbage this year. Yeah, I'm not offended by that. It is garbage. Gator basketball has been garbage since the Billy Donovan years, really. Anyways, guys, that's it. 10:03. Gonna go shag some golf balls before what? Chartapalooza. That's right, guys. Today we have Chartapalooza.
That's dope.
That's dope. 1:30 p.m. Eastern Daily Time. I sent out the newsletter this morning. Paid subscribers to the newsletter make requests on a Google form on there, and then I chart those. I chart all of those for them. I'm out here like this, just looking at like 30, 40 charts. It's hard for me to keep up with these charts, man. You know, it's really hard for me to keep up with these charts. But if you follow them and you make the right trades, then guys, that's all I got for you today. This has been fun. Please tune in once again at 1:30 p.m. That's 3.5 hours from now. You get more of this. All of it. It's yours. Peace.
That's dope.